Congratulations to all those who have cleared JRF and UGC NET exam. So around six students have qualified JRF and 21, approximately 21 or 22, have qualified NET. So it is a good number. And rest of you, those who couldn't qualify, don't get disappointed because the next exam will be conducted after 3 months. So basically, next one will be conducted in the month of June, and Feb is almost over. So you have 3 months. You have March, April, and May to prepare. So don't get disheartened. So it is just that you just have to prepare again for 3 months. ठीक? Now let me just tell you some mistakes which you have made in the last exam, because there are some common problems which I can see that you all are facing. First of all, the basic problem that you all have is about the pattern of the exam, the decoding UGC NET pattern. So let me just decode it for you so that you can prepare better in the next one, in the June one. Just 1 minute. Let me just show you the first one. So if you see any exam, it can be any exam, it can be judiciary exam, it can be UGC NET exam, it can be any exam. The paper pattern will always consist of three types of questions. They'll ask you conceptual questions, they'll ask you cramming questions, and they'll ask you miscellaneous questions. So basically, these are the three key areas from which they ask you questions. Now what do we expect? We expect that they always ask questions from the conceptual. Let's say if they're asking 70% conceptual, we say that paper is easy, correct? We say paper is easy. But if they ask conceptual, let's say conceptual is just 30% and cramming is 40%, okay? And then we say that paper was moderate, but sometimes what happens, sometimes they ask conceptual part very less and cramming part a lot, and also they give equal weightage to the miscellaneous part. Let's say this is 70%. In the case of miscellaneous, sometimes they ask you around 40% from this part, 30% from the cramming part, and 30% from the conceptual part. So basically, if the conceptual part is more, you say it is easy. But if the cramming part is more, you say it is moderate. And if the miscellaneous part is more, you say the paper is tough, correct? Now the problem is that this exam was mainly based on the cramming part. The cramming questions were more in this exam. So that is why the difficulty level of this exam was moderate. You cannot say that it was very difficult, or you cannot say that it was easy. It was like moderate one. Why? Because cramming part was more. I'll show you some questions so you'll get an idea that why I'm saying that cramming questions were more than conceptual and then miscellaneous, correct? If you have seen the previous year papers, you have noticed that miscellaneous questions, they do not ask many miscellaneous questions. They usually ask you around 15 to 20 miscellaneous questions. They cannot ask you 25 or 30, 35. There are very rare chances that they ask you more than 25 or 30 miscellaneous questions. In that case, the cutoff would be very, very low. It would be around 180, or it can be around just 170 if they are asking you more miscellaneous questions, correct? So now let me just show you that how they have asked these questions. Now if you are saying, let's say you have scored around 170 marks or 160 marks, and you are saying that paper was tough, take a paper was tough and I prepared well, 160, 170, or let's say you have scored 180 marks, and you are saying that I prepared well but still I couldn't score. Now what can be the reason why you couldn't score more, why your score is stuck? Now if you see this, just 1 minute. Okay, so I have divided this into three parts: cramming part, then conceptual part, and then miscellaneous part. As I told you, that three parts you have to divide the paper in three parts: cramming, conceptual, and miscellaneous. Now, when you talk about cramming part, what do you see? In cramming part, you have covered all these acts, whatever is given in the syllabus. They have asked the questions from that particular act itself. They are not asking you anything apart from it. In the miscellaneous section, they can ask you some random acts. They can ask you, or maybe they are asking you about the acts of England. They are asking you about the acts of USA. So that part can be miscellaneous. But the cramming, that's something that we can handle. That comes under cramming. That's something that we can still attempt. Something that we can learn for the next attempt. That is something where you can easily fetch marks if you read properly or if you cram properly. So now if I talk about the first question, so if you see this, here the Forest Act is given, Wildlife Protection Act is given, EP Act is given, NGT Act is given. And now you know that these two acts, last two, C and D, EPA and NGT, I always tell you that these two acts are very, very important. I have made you cram all the sections of NGT, all the sections of EPA. If you remember, I have told you how many sections are there in EPA, how many sections are there in NGT, 26, 38. So you know everything about these two acts, correct? Let's say you do not know about A and B. If you know about C and D, you could easily get this answer correct? You could easily get this answer correct. EPA, NGT. So from EPA and NGT, you can see that, okay, section 26 is there, okay, and that for NGT, this section 15 is there, and you can get the answer correct. So this is something that you can easily get correct if you prepare well for the next one. So for the next one, just remember that whatever acts are there, you have to cover those acts properly. Acha, ab if you see the second question, it is again the cramming based question. In the cramming, if you see total questions, cramming based questions, 37 questions were cramming based. So 37 questions were cramming based means that out of 100 37% paper was cramming based. It is not that the whole paper was about guesswork nahi hai. This is not the guesswork. This question is not based on the guesswork. This question is based on your cramming skills. You, of course, this is the UGC net exam. Everybody knows that it is not based on the concept. It is not like judiciary exam. You have to cram things to clear this exam. So again, you can see this 37% is cramming based, and this is something which you need to cram in the next 3 months. You cannot say that I know the concept, but cramming part I will not be able to handle. You have to cram if you want to crack the June exam. So just see this, that from these two acts, they have made this question very tough by adding these two other acts, Forest Act and Wildlife Protection Act, because we know that wildlife and forest are not very important, but EP and NGT are important. So based on those acts, you have got this question correct. Achha, ab now see the second question. If you see the second question, where it is, they are asking you about the articles of the UN Charter, sets out the principles. In UN Charter, how many articles do you cover? You cover 111 articles. You know that 111 articles are there, and first and second article you always cover. First article is about the purpose, and second article is about the principles. Do you remember? So there are 4 purposes and there are 7 principles, and they can ask you to put them in the order also, that which are the 4 purposes that that are given in the UN Charter, or which are the 7 principles that are given in the UN Charter. Put them in the chronological order, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, like this they can ask you. In this question, they have simply asked you that where are the principles given, in which article the principles are given. Principles are given in article 2. Again, it is cramming based question. Again, you can't say that it is based on the guesswork. Achha, if you compare this paper with the 2019 or 20 paper, you can say that in 2019 and 20 paper, they mainly used to ask us questions from this torts, or they used to ask us questions from the jurisprudence. So that way we could say that it was cramming based, that we had to cram the statements for the torts, we had to cram the statements for the jurisprudence. They usually did not touch these subjects like purposes, principles. But now to make this exam difficult, or to make the cramming part difficult, they pick up all the topics. They touch all the topics. They even if it is IPR, conventions of IPR, even if it is public international law, extradition, asylum, Hague Convention, Geneva Convention, they ask you each and everything. Now you cannot say that they are just going to ask you from torts, or they are just going to ask you from law of crimes. Now you know that they are making the exam difficult. How they are making the exam difficult? So you have to cover each and everything, whatever is given in the syllabus. You need to cover everything. You need to cram everything. So do you see this? Again, 52nd question is based on the cramming part. Okay, अब see this, which of the following is the schedule 2 of the NGT? So now firstly you should know that how many schedules are there. 3 schedules are there in the NGT, and what is schedule 1, what is schedule 2, what is schedule 3. So you know what is schedule 3, what is schedule 2. Schedule 2 is about heads under which compensation or relief for damage may be claimed. So you can see this, again this is cramming based question. So I'll not read each and every question. I'll just give you an overview, so that you should know that how you need to prepare for the next one. Achha, see this published work for visually impaired. Again, this is the IPR convention, Intellectual Property Right Convention. So we have covered this, that Marrakesh Treaty is there, and we have covered Beijing Treaty, Rome Treaty, Geneva Treaty. Geneva Treaty is not very important. So Rome Treaty you have covered, Paris Convention you have covered. So these are the basic conventions that you have covered, and they have just asked you that which convention is related to this particular category. Correct? And then official language of ICJ. Okay. If you remember, we have covered the official language of ICJ also. We have also covered the official language of UN, that how many languages are recognized by the United Nations. Okay, ICJ ka differently we have covered it separately. Then WTO ka, the languages which are used in the WTO, the languages which are the official languages of the ICJ. So we have covered this English and French. Again, one basic easy question. Then word jurisprudence. Now there was a confusion in this question. So now you can see this, what is written here. Why you were saying that this question is incorrect? They are not saying that jurisprudentia word. They are not asking you that jurisprudentia word is which word. That is it a Latin word, or is it a this other word? So it is not a. It is a Latin word. We all know that it is a Latin word. But what are they asking you? They are asking you the origin. That from where is it coming? That means origin. What is the origin of this word? So of course it is coming from the Romans. As I told you one thing, that whatever development you have seen in the law, whatever development you have seen in the legal field, most of the things we have taken from the Romans have played an important role in the development of the law. So first thing, so two things, whenever you start jurisprudence, you cover two things. One, that jurisprudence is derived from the word jurisprudentia, and jurisprudentia is a Latin word, correct? This question has been asked multiple times, that jurisprudentia, is it a Latin word? Yes, it is a Latin word. Now, second question that they ask you, that what is the origin of this word? That it is derived from the Romans, the origin is from the Romans. Do you see this? Okay. Now, similarly, this question, Birma, NHRC, Vishakha, PUDR versus Union of India. So these cases again are very important. Vishakha versus State of Rajasthan, everybody knows this. PUDR versus Union of India. So these are some of the cases which they ask you repetitively. In every exam, not only in the UGC NET exam, you're going to find these questions in most of the exams. It can be in the judiciary exam, or it can be in the CLAT exam, like whatever exams in which this constitution is there, you are going to find these questions. So just remember that for constitution, you need to prepare you need to prepare the cases very well. You should know all the cases, not only the cases, but also the year of the cases. Year of the constitution cases are very, very important, correct? Take now, which of the following sections do not deal with internet, cyber, computer crime? Now this is one such question where you could use your logic rather than of course, we do not know all the sections of Indian Copyright Act, or we do not know all the sections of Patent Act. But what we can do, we know that IPC, of course, what is IPC? IPC, we know that it is about the crimes. So, of course, crime is there in this. Okay, and we also know BNS. BNS is the new code. So, again, the sections regarding crime will be there in this. Then IT Act, you have already covered 66F, that is hacking, internet hacking. So, you can easily do the guesswork. So, they are asking you which do not deal with. So, which means that copyright and patent do not deal with this. So A and D. So you could use your logic. IPC भी होगा, BNS भी होगा, and IT Act का पता होना चाहिए. IT Act का क्यों पता होना चाहिए? Because you have these are the offences that we cover under IT Act. IT Act में we cover 66 A, B, C, D, E, F. So all those in order, and what is the punishment for the same. So that is how you know that what is 66 F. So you can get this correct if you know that, if you know IT Act, if you know IPC, if you know BNS. Copyright नहीं भी पता चलेगा, patent नहीं भी पता चलेगा. I hope you are getting this. Anyone facing any problem in this, please let me know. Am I going too fast? I'll just try to keep it short. Amir, Amu, Anjali, is it okay with you all? Are you getting this? Parth, Pragati, Rajshri, Rashmi? All right, perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay, so now the next question. This question, I don't know why their favorite topic is this IPR theories. They always ask you questions from the IPR theories. Even I do not know about this incentive theory. I do not know about this creative destruction theory. So personhood theory we know, natural right theory we know, but incentive theory, creative destruction theory, it is not given in any book. That the books which are written by Indian authors. So it is not given in any book. It is given in the foreign author books, or it is given in the research papers. From there you can find this. So you can see this, that all these proponents are jurists. So they are the foreign jurists, or they are the foreign proponents. So that is why I can understand that you could face problem in this question, but you should know this A and B, personhood theory and natural right theory we have covered. So from this you could see that okay, personhood theory is given by Kant, Immanuel Kant, we have covered this, right? And natural right theory is given by Locke. But this second name and the fourth name, this Schumpeter and Nordhaus, we have not covered this. So I can understand that even if you have got this question incorrect, so that is totally fine, because these C and D theory we haven't covered, and it is not given in the Indian author books, right? Up next one, the knowledge derived from the authoritative books specified in the first schedule. Up this BD Act 2023. I have put this question in the miscellaneous part also. Those who have covered BD Act, it is good for them. Like they could have answered it easily. But if you have not covered BD Act, because BD Act was never asked earlier, but now for the June exam, you need to cover the BD Act properly, Biological Diversity Act, and secondly you need to cover the Geographical Indication Act properly. So these two acts should be covered thoroughly, BD Act as well as Geographical Indication Act. Baki copyright, patent, trademark, whatever you have been covering, so you need to cover it for the June exam also, but this time you need to cover these two acts also, BD as well as GI Act, and from there you can just see that where is this definition given and which act defines this. So this is in section number, this is in this BD Act, BD Amendment Act 2023. Okay. Up next question is easy. This is from the Indian Constitution. I am sure that 99% of you have got this correct if you know this Constitution really well. So you know that what is there in this, that NJC was there in which article? 124A. Everyone knows this because of the 99th Amendment, appointment of acting CJ, Supreme Court to be a court of record, and original jurisdiction. An easy question, right? Okay, section wise as stated in chapter number 17 of the IPC 1860. Either they'll ask you a question from the punishment, take it, because in IPC what are they going to ask you? Either they'll ask you illustration, or they'll ask you a question from the this punishment, that what is the punishment for this offense, or arrange the offenses according to the punishment, according to the severity of the punishment, or they can ask you to arrange them in the section wise. So again you can see this, where is mischief given, where is stolen property given, dacoity with murder. पहले dacoity with murder आएगा, dacoity with murder, assembling for the purpose of murder, सब dacoity वाला पहले है, and then mischief, and then stolen property. So no, you know this, again you can easily attempt this question. Okay, void agreement, chronological order. So what is there in section number 26, 27, 28, 29. So 27, 28 of Indian Contract Act. Easy sections, take a wagering contract, where is wagering contract given, or where is this contingent contracts given. So all those sections, restraint of trade, restraint of marriage, restraint of legal proceedings. So again, this could be attempted. Now, functions of National Commission for Minorities. Okay, this is something that you need to see. You always say that human rights, you find it very difficult, but human rights is one such subject which can provide you an edge. So why does it provide you an edge? Because in human rights, there are some minor acts like National Commission for Minorities, National Commission for Backward Classes. It is not important because now we have the it is given in the provision, it is given in the Constitution itself. So National Commission for Backward Classes you may skip, but National Commission for Minorities, National Commission for Women, National Commission for Children, or National Commission for there are 2-3 more acts. So these two minor acts that we have covered, so you need to cover these acts properly. One is Protection of Human Rights Act 1993. So all those acts you need to cover properly along with the section numbers. I'm not saying that you need to remember the exact section number. They have asked you the exact section number here, but at least you should have an idea that these many functions are there in this particular commission, and what is the constitution composition of this commission, that who all are there in this particular commission. So you cannot just cover 1993 ki baki sab chhod diya or Protection of Human Rights Act kar liya, and in that act you have covered NHRC, SHRC and human rights codes, and rest of the things you have left. You cannot leave rest of the things. You need to cover each and every act, whatever is mentioned in the group rights. Group rights means that these are the rights for the particular group at national level, at international level. National level mein you will cover the commissions, acts, commissions and acts, and at international level what are you going to cover? At international level you are going to cover the conferences, conventions, declarations, and the year of the declarations, conventions, conferences, etc. Right, just let me show you. So what you need to see in this National Commission for Minorities, for example, 1 minute, I'll not take up much time. So if you can see this, as I was telling you that, yes, this one, okay, these are the group rights. Children, you have to see at international level, you have to see at the national level, that what are the provisions at the national level. Similarly, you have to see that what is at this UDHR article deals with women rights, ICCPR, ICAC, UNCRC, and this convention was adopted when. So this is about the international part. This is about the international part. And for the national part, what do you need to cover? For the national part, you can see this National Commission for Women. Okay, National Commission for Women. So whatever is highlighted, that part is important. Term of office and Constitution of National Commission for Women. So these things are important for this. So you don't have to go in detail, but at least you should know the basics of these particular acts, because these are at the national level. Correct? Okay, next one is John Rawls' book. Which book of John Rawls was published in the year 1971? So you have covered this in the jurisprudence also. Do you remember? You have covered this in the jurisprudence, that which book is written by John Rawls. So John Rawls we have covered this in the modern jurisprudence. In the modern jurisprudence, it is given that this John Rawls justice, the theory of justice is also given by this John Rawls. So the theory of justice, so this is the correct answer. Then chronological order, where Hindu wife is entitled to claim maintenance. Now, this is one such question which I need to discuss with you. So now you know that under Hindu Adoption Maintenance Act, that these are the grounds on which the wife can live separately and claim maintenance, correct? But what do we miss? We do not see the order. We do not see the order in which it is given. And this is what they are asking you. They are not asking you that on what grounds the wife can live separately and claim maintenance. They know that we already know that these are the grounds on which the wife can live separately from the husband and still claiming maintenance. Okay, but they are asking you the order in which on what grounds the wife is living separately and she's claiming maintenance, right? Acha, there is one more thing. If you see this these points, now next thing, let's say whenever you study, take it, whenever you are studying, so what you need to do, if you are watching a lecture, okay, let's say you are watching a, so you have watched a lecture. So once you have watched a lecture, after that, in the first revision, as in whatever you have read or understood, in the first revision, you are just going to see that if the concept is clear to you or not. Like in the first revision, you will just remember the grounds, that okay, these are the grounds under which the wife can live separately and she can claim maintenance. Second revision, what do you need to see? In the second revision, you need to see the chronology, you need to see the not very important things, but the things that they ask you in the exam. Chronology, that means okay, these are the grounds, okay, now this is the chronology which is given in the Bayer Act. So every lecture needs two revisions. It is not that you need to watch the lecture twice. It is just that you, whatever you have seen, whatever you have understood from the lecture, you are required to note down those points in your notes. And in the first revision, just see if the concepts are clear or not. Just remember the basic things. In the second revision, remember those things which are not very important but still can be asked, but still they can ask you in the exam. Correct? Okay, please don't make this mistake in the June exam. So you should see that they're asking you non-important things. And what non-important things? That whatever you have, they're asking you from that only. It is just that you just have to be focused on remembering. You just need to focus on non-important things also. Okay. Now, next one is, which of the following can be considered as the first case? This is the case about this environment law. So, environment law, mein, we have already covered this RL and E Kendra Dehradun versus this Dehradun versus state of UP. Then history's case, that Henry's case. So this is 82. This is the environment case. So from the facts itself, you can see this. So this is the just a general case. It is not something based on the miscellaneous part. Arrange the following provisions of Trademark Act. Every time they ask you, either from the this trademark or from the patent, or even from the copyright, they can ask you that arrange this in the order. They can ask you to arrange the chapters in the order. They can ask you to arrange the section numbers in the order, right? Then arrange the following grounds for dissolution. All most of the questions are based on the arrangements. Most of the questions are based on the chronological order. So you can see this, that why is it tough? Because they are asking you to arrange it. They are asking you, you know that these are the grounds, but what are they doing? They are asking again. This is something which is similar to the Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act. In the Dissolution of Muslim Marriage Act, this question was there in the mock test also. I've asked this twice or thrice, that you need to arrange these grounds, because they'll directly ask you that which is the first ground, second ground, third ground, fourth ground. So again, simple question. Then which of the following provisions as per the correct order in the constitution? So these are the simple, you can say this governor, again basic, I'll not discuss this, that order in the constitution, arrangement question. What all items are included in the definition of biological resources? I have already told you that you need to cover the Biological Diversity Act also now, and Geographical Indication Act, Geographical Indications Act. Hazardous substance. Up see this, even if you have not covered this Air and Water Act, what you can do, a hazardous substance is something that which is common for all kinds of pollutants. It is common for the air pollutant, it is common for the water pollutant, but you cannot use the term hazardous for the forest, right? You cannot use hazardous for the forest. So of course the answer can be EPA. Why EPA? Because EPA is an umbrella act. Umbrella act means it covers all types of pollutants. So all types of pollutant means hazardous substance is related to all types of pollutants. So the answer is second one. Of course they're not just going to give you this hazardous substance in air or water. They will give you this term in umbrella act. Umbrella act means the act which can cover all kinds of pollutants. So that is why the answer is Environment Protection Act 1986. We have covered these definitions which are given in EPA, air and water. So from there also you can know. Implied conditions, direct section number based question from the SOGA Act. Take then under PIL, the Nottebohm case. Nottebohm case has been asked multiple times from 2018-19. They have been asking this case, N for Nottebohm, N for nationality. Similarly, there was Stoic versus Public Trustee. I think that was the case. S for Stoic versus Public Trustee and S for statelessness. So again, these questions have were there in the PYQs also. And then international conventions and agreements in the chronological order of adoption, WTO, status of refugees, Geneva Convention. If you do not know the status of refugees, WTO Geneva Convention, which means there is a problem, you need to cover this. This is not based on the guesswork. This is based on the cramming part. Okay? Then arrangement, again, arrangement of this punishments, types of punishments, and this gang rape dacoity. What is that punishment that is given in IPC? Actually, you can see this one more thing that in the June exam, just let me mute you. 1 second, sorry. In the June exam, Shamli, okay. So in the June exam, you need to cover this IPC and BNS both. You cannot just rely on the IPC. You need to cover IPC and BNS both. Easy question again. Next one, Constitution. Constitution, they are asking you simple articles, and then Article 1.1. This is what I was telling you. Purposes they can ask you what is there in 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. So where did you cover the principles? You covered the principles in Article number 2, and you have covered the purposes in Article number 1, and they are asking you to match it according to the order. Take and then these section numbers from Negotiable Instruments Act. Acha 138 everybody knows. Take a dishonor of check, and 4 also you know. Take a 4 also you know. Even if you do not 4 and 5 you know. Even if you do not know 5 9, then also you can answer this because you know 4 5 3 4 5 6. These are some basic sections you should know from negotiable instruments, and 138 is about dishonor of checks. Then UN conference, this is easy, this is there in paper 1 also, so you are expected to know this. Kyoto conference on global warming, Paris agreement, Montreal protocol, or UN conference on environment and development. Take then which of the following statutes define person interested. So all these questions, I'm just skipping this part. I'll share this PDF with you. Achha, I'll do one more thing. I'll share this PDF with you so that you can check that where you are lacking. Let's say 37 questions are there from the cramming part. So you just compare your answers with this PDF. You see that how many are correct in the cramming part, how many are correct in the conceptual part. From there you will get to know that if you are lacking in the cramming part or if you are lacking in the conceptual part. So do you understand? So you just have to see that where you are lacking. Cramming में या conceptual में I'll share this PDF, and from there you can see the number of questions you are getting correct in these particular portions. अगर miscellaneous में गलत हो रहे हैं don't worry, but अगर cramming में काफ़ी सारे गलत हो रहे हैं या फिर conceptual में गलत हो रहे हैं then there is a need to worry. That means then you need to work on that particular area. Tortious liability direct definition, as I told you that they have been doing this from 2014-15. Definition from torts, definition from contract, definition from crime, definition from jurisprudence, definition from public international law, that who has given this definition. So this is given by Winfield, right? Okay. Then 51A, you just need to arrange them in order. These are these fundamental duties, and then arrange the following convention treaties in the chronological order. Again, this is the general arrangement question. Okay. As I told you, how many questions were there from the cramming part? 37. And how many are there from the concept based? 39. So you can just take 40 questions. 40% paper is conceptual paper. Okay, and 37% paper, approximately equal paper. So 40% from concept and 40% from cramming. So that is why you were saying that it was more guesswork based. It was not guesswork based. I have shown you around 40 questions which were not based on the guesswork. They were based on your cramming. They were checking your cramming. They were checking your trivia knowledge. That did you cover these areas? Most of the questions were based on the arrangements, chronology. Okay, so that is why you should cover them properly for the next attempt. Ab concept based questions mein, what is the concept based? If you do not know the concept of law and morality, then how will you attempt this question? So you should know that what is law, what is morality, and what is the viewpoint of what was the viewpoint of Austin? What Austin does Austin believe in law, or does Austin believe that law and morality are same? So you should know all these points, and from there you can attempt this question. Then word jurisprudence, again, this question, that it is derived from which who has what is the origin of this term, that is Romans have derived this thing. And then ICJ, article number 38, sources of international law, and from there they have asked you that which is the source that will be used to decide the dispute. So conventions are used, customs are used, general principles of law are used. So what are they asking you? They have given you the general principle, so that is the answer. Again, concept based, limitation of doctrine of constructive notice. This question was asked multiple times in the previous year along with the case law. So this is the doctrine of indoor management. Indoor management, that constructive notice is given. It is the indoor management. That means the outsiders are not allowed. So it is about the indoor management. So that is this is again based on the PYQ. Conceptual question. Again, this conceptual question 32 to 35A. So all these article numbers, this is easy question. I will not discuss this. Acha, moving on to this question, are you going to put this into the cramming part, miscellaneous part, or the conceptual part? Here they are asking you the statements with respect to the government in USA and India. if you see this, that if they're asking you about the USA and India statements with respect to government of USA and India you already know, because we have been doing this from so many years. We have been studying the Indian legal setup from so many years. But USA we have covered this in CPL mein what these are the major things that we have covered. We know that okay, doctrine of separation of powers is there. Achha, do we strictly follow this in India? No, we do not strictly follow this in India, but in USA yes, we do strictly follow it. Okay, and then we have also covered the veto power that is there with the president. Okay, and then US president is more powerful. So these are the things that you cannot skip in CPL. You cannot say that CPL was there and that is why the paper was very tough. This is one such question where I cannot say that this question was based on the, you can say, guesswork. It was not based on the guesswork, it is based on your knowledge. You should know that okay, US में separation of powers है या नहीं है, or you should know that where is rule of law applied, from where have we got the concept of rule of law. So we attribute this particular characteristic to the UK, and for USA we use separation of powers. So ये basic things you should know. Removal method of USA president, Indian prime minister is technical and difficult. US president is not the member of legislature. We have covered this. Of course we know that he is not the member of the legislature. So this is based on your knowledge, basic knowledge, conceptual knowledge. Minimum number of directors in one person company, minimum is one only. Then for this private company 2, and then public company 3, and then maximum 15, 1, 2, 3, 15, that rule that we have covered. Which of the following is not a part of specified dower? Specified dower are of two types, prompt dower and deferred dower, and also the dower stipulated in marriage contract, but not the proper dower, because proper dower alag se category hai. And then chairperson of NGT shall be appointed by whom? You need to cover the composition of NGT, you need to cover the composition of this NHRC, SHRC. So this is what you have. This is something that you have already covered, conceptual thing. And truly describe the nature of administrative law, again conceptual. Acha, consumer protection redressal agencies. I have, whenever we cover this 2019 Act, I always tell you that what are the things which were not there in the 1986 Act, what are the changes, what is the new thing that we have added in the 2019. Up 2019 mein, you can say this, that their committee is this is the thing which was not there. Committee was not there, and from there you can see that okay, forum was there. Forum matlab district forum, we used to call it district forum, but now we call it commission only, that district commission. Earlier we used to call it forum. And then consumer dispute redressal commission was already there, national consumer dispute redressal commission was there. So you should know the concept, that what was not there in 1986 and what is there in 2019. You cannot just simply open up the bare act and cram every section. You should know the difference. Similarly, motor vehicle act, whenever you cover motor vehicle act, so if I'm not mistaken, we cover 3 chapters, chapter number 10, 11 and 12 है ना. 10 में we talk about no fault liability. अब ऐसा नहीं है that 10 is omitted, so you will not cover chapter number 10. You should know what was there in before amendment. You should know what was there before 2019. 2019 में amendment हुआ, but you should know the basic concept that what was there before amendment. Similarly here also, you should know what was there before 2019. You cannot say that they were asking you questions from 1986 Act. This question was not from 1986 Act. It is just that they're asking you what was not there in 1986 and what is now there in 2019. Correct? Okay, so which of the following is true with WTO? Again, every time they ask you this question, jurisdiction of ICJ is based on, it is a consensual basis. That means both the parties are agreeing to it, and that is why that is when the ICJ will intervene. ICJ will not intervene if one of the parties do not give the consent. So that is consensual basis. ठीक, then what is the effect of acceptance of offer in the context of formation of a contract? इसमें भी बहुत confusion था. I don't know why were you challenging it. This is a correct question. So they are asking you that what is the effect of acceptance of offer in the context of formation of contract. So contract is created only after an offer is accepted. That is very obvious. That means whenever we have to enter into a contract, the offer has to be accepted. It is only after an offer is accepted. Okay, if you keep interpreting it, then of course there are multiple interpretations. But if they're asking you a direct question, just give the direct answer that okay, yes, of course the contract is created only after the proposal is accepted, the offer is accepted, then we say the contract is created. Correct? Okay, who amongst the below mentioned has the power to make provisions? So you know this parliament by law. This is given in that election commission chapter. Take then secular word was added by the 42nd amendment. Then arrange the following schools of thoughts in chronological order. All these. Acha, you were saying that this time they did not ask you the chronological order of the these jurists, they have asked you in an indirect manner. How they have asked in an indirect manner? So they have given you like natural law, that means natural theory, that natural school ka baya, this Fuller's theory, Lon Fuller's theory, idea of legalism, John Austin, Hobbes, Bentham. So you should know that when Bentham, what is the duration, what is the in which period the Bentham gave his theory, in which period Hobbes gave his theory. So from those periods you had to answer this question. This is something which is given in the first PDF, I think. 1 minute. This is in the books and jurist and books. 1 minute. You have covered this in the jurisprudence books and authors wala. Yes, this is where you have covered this years. Take a John Austin, John Bentham. So these years, these are the periods in which they were there and their theories were there, and from there you could have answered this question. Okay, next one is this easy one, a maxim based question of this law of torts. Law of torts में से कुछ खास आया नहीं है, but law of torts में से this was the easy question that they had asked. And then in the following case, it was held agreement by minor is void. Everyone knows Moiri Bibi case. And then CPA 1986 has been repealed and replaced by which act? Again 2019 act. Which of the following are the consequences of breach? So these are the easy questions. I'm not discussing these questions. So fair dealing under the copyright is not a fair dealing. Of course, fair dealing क्यों होगी? If you're using it for the commercial purpose. If you are using someone's work for the commercial use, let's say I am using someone's work for making money. So in that case, it is not a fair dealing. Okay, I'll have to take the permission of that person. Even if you do not know the basics of copyright, then also you could have answered this question correct. Take again conceptual question, ex terpi cause and non-orator ex show, maxim based question. Acha, who is currently serving judge of the ICJ? So you know that who is that Dalveer Bhandari serving judge. And then IT Act, these provisions are there. IT Act, as I told you, one of the most important acts, but all provisions are there. So again, it is not based on the cramming part or trivia part. This is just based on the knowledge that you have about IT Act. Then recognition of government is necessary. Strata doctrine. Strata doctrine means that it is based on the efficiency. It is not about that if the government has been elected through the legitimate manner or the illegitimate manner. Strata means efficiency, that the government has to be effective one. So if you are recognizing it, the government has to be effective one. So that is the Strata doctrine. Which statements are true about theories of corporate personality? This is a question from jurisprudence. Corporate personality, you know what is there in corporate personality? Fiction theory, concession theory, and fiction theory is also called organic theory. This is wrong. Take organic theory is realist theory is known as the organic theory, if you remember. Okay, so these are the questions that you could attempt it. Then passive euthanasia, which case? Arna Schonberg case. And which of the following is not a ground of facet marriage? So these. I'm not discussing this. Acha, doctrine of separation, article 1, 2, 3. अब आर्टिकल 1, 2, 3 में do you remember? Article 1 is about legislature, 2 is about executive, 3 is about judiciary. याद आया? 1, 2, 3. And what is 5? 5 is about amendment. So what are they asking you? Doctrine of separation. Separation का मतलब that these three wings are working separately. So that is why article 1 is legislature, 2 is executive, and 3 is judiciary. Right? So this is article 1, 2, 3. Marzul Maut, the concept of Marzul Maut, you have covered this in the Muslim law. Again, the conceptual question. So conceptual clarity is also necessary. Vicarious liability, absolute liability, MC Mehta, Ryland versus Fletcher, P&O, steam navigation. This is about the vicarious liability of the state. Easy one. And then rule Ryland versus Fletcher, what were the rules that were created? What is the purpose of Wednesbury test? In which subject have you covered this? Wednesbury, you have covered in the administrative law. In administrative law, you have covered some grounds, and there you have talked about irrationality, right? Which is not included in part 21. So of course Haryana we do not have any special provisions for Haryana or Punjab. So this is one such question. And then are exempted from criminal liability under the IPC. Basic easy question. Anton Pillar, Mareva injunction, John Doe order, dynamic injunction. You have covered this in copyright. Do you remember? You have covered this in copyright, and they're just asking you what is there in Anton Pillar order, what is there in Mareva injunction, John Doe order, dynamic injunction. So you have covered this in copyright. Again, conceptual one. Okay, now you have seen around 37 questions from 37 from what? 37 from cramming part. Take cramming, the ones that I have shown you earlier. So 37 were from cramming, and approximately 40 were from what? 40 were from this conceptual. Take conceptual 40 or 39 you can say, and then 10 questions were from comprehension. Take 10 were from comprehension. abreast of the questions, like how many? 14. Actually, let's say even if you are not counting 14 questions, even if you're counting them as 18 or 20, let's say, then also they have not asked you more of guesswork based, because cramming is not, you cannot say that cramming is based on the guesswork. It is not based on the guesswork, it is based on your cramming skills, it is based on your trivia knowledge. ठीक है, conceptual clarity तो होनी चाहिए, comprehension में straight मतलब direct answers, whatever they have been asking you, it is given in the paragraph itself. तो मतलब comprehension is something where you can easily get 10 questions correct. तो comprehension में अगर आपकी गलती हो रही है, which means there is a problem. You need to see all the PYQs and then you need to work on the comprehension. उसमें चाहे paper 1 है चाहे paper 2 है, दोनों में they always ask you, paper 1 and paper 2, they always ask you direct questions from comprehension. तो comprehension ऐसे कि you should attempt it at first, like last में छोड़ के कुछ भी mark नहीं करना, एक बार पढ़ के, so you should get all these questions correct from comprehension. Correct? Okay, about miscellaneous questions. So how many miscellaneous questions are there? 14. Now let me show you the miscellaneous questions. You were saying that most of the questions were miscellaneous, most of the questions were based on guesswork. No, only miscellaneous questions are based on the guesswork. See the first question. Do you know what is Geneva Convention 1, 2, 3, 4 article? No, of course we do not know. Nobody knows. Even I do not know. Even the examiner do not know. The one who has set this exam does not know what it is. So, but you just have to do the guesswork. It's okay. Okay, don't get anxious or don't get panic that I do not know the answer. It's okay. Nobody knows this. So this is something that where you have to do the guesswork. So one such question, Geneva Convention article, etc., useless. Then, in which of the following cases victim's wife of bigamous marriage were allowed to get maintenance? Again, this is not something very, you can say very landmark case, but still based on the guesswork. Urmila Badshah Godse case. Then, what all items included in the definition of biological resources? Biological. I have given this in the cramming part also. I have written it here also, that if you have not covered this Biological Diversity Act or if you have not covered the Geographical Indication Act, then you could not attempt this question. So again, you can do the guesswork in this. This is something that you can cover in miscellaneous. Now see the next one. Again, Hague Convention. Who knows the Declaration 1, 2, 3, dum bullets, what it is? Even I do not know what it is. So Declaration 1, 2, 3, 4, again based on the guesswork. Vardhaman Kaushik versus North India, decided in 2014-15, again based on guesswork. कौन सा case है? Vardhaman Kaushik versus North India. NGT rejected the petition. For those who have, there are very rare chances, let's say out of 100%, only maybe just 2 to 4% knows the correct answer. Only 2 to 4%, if they have done this, maybe if their specialization is in environment law, then they might have covered this case law, Vardhaman Kaushik versus North India, or maybe they have done the case study on this particular thing. So that is how they could know the answer. Otherwise, you are not expected to know the answer. You are just required to do the guesswork in such questions. In Canada, which document outlines the division of power between the federal and provincial? Now we know that, of course, in Canada we have this division of federal and provincial governments, but which is the document? We do not know which document. So again, based on the miscellaneous thing, British North America Act 1867, guesswork ekdam. Then chronological order made under EPA Act 1986. Have you seen the rules which are given in EPA Act 1986? Multiple rules. It is not just like 8 or 10 rules. There are around there is a list of 45 to 50 rules. How can you remember those rules? You cannot remember those rules. You just need to do the guesswork. Okay, so don't feel guilty if you're doing the guesswork in such miscellaneous questions. They are not going to ask you more than 15 to 20 miscellaneous questions. 15 से 20 questions में tension free होगी, you can just do the guesswork. ऐसा नहीं कि मुझे नहीं आता. Even nobody knows the answer of this. Everybody is doing the guesswork. Just keep this thing in your mind. And in the context of refugees, which of the following options are given in Article 3 of this ECHR, European Convention on Human Rights? अब European Convention on Human Rights के articles कौन याद करेगा? Nobody can remember the articles of European Convention on Human Rights. Of course, you can remember the articles of UDHR, but why would you remember the articles of European Convention on Human Rights? Again, guesswork. Then which of the following analysis is not true for 5th century BC Greek play of Antigone by Sophocles? कुछ भी नहीं, मतलब we have never heard of this. Again, guesswork. Miscellaneous question. So 15 questions. Just keep this thing in your mind कि 15 questions फालतू हैं, guesswork करना है. Geneva Convention, this question was incorrect. This is not correct. ठीक है, but still they have not made any change in the revised answer key. So 3 is the answer. And then person interested, where is it given? Statute defined. I have again put this in the this miscellaneous part only. And arrange the following in the order of sections in which they appear in the Liber Code. Ab Liber Code, nobody reads the Liber Code. Who reads this? So again, guesswork. So you can see this. Next one, Hague Convention mein what are the provisions, and then Statute of International Criminal Tribunal of the Yugoslavia, Rwanda, ICC, Sierra Leone. Just leave this. So these are some guesswork text. So these cases, only fisheries jurisdiction case and Western Sahara case are the two cases which we have heard earlier. Otherwise, these Texaco, Overseas Petroleum Company, voting procedure on questions. So these are the cases we have not heard earlier. So again, it is based on the guesswork. So last 15 questions which I have shown you, they are based on the guesswork. Nobody can score, nobody can get 100 questions correct out of 100 questions. You can only target 75 to 80 questions out of 100 questions. So just keep this thing in your mind, that now the mistake that you have been making, you were just focusing on the conceptual questions, you were not focusing on the cramming questions. But now whatever I have shown you, from there you have got to know that you need to focus on the cramming part also, not only on the conceptual but cramming part. Miscellaneous देखना भी नहीं है, miscellaneous का don't worry about the miscellaneous part, just forget the miscellaneous part. Just think that they are just going to ask you 80 questions in the exam. बाकी guesswork से जो ठीक हो गया, that is about your luck, that is based on your luck. ठीक, so conceptual and cramming you should focus on. Okay, so the one of the common mistakes that you make, that you focus too much on the miscellaneous questions, and that is why you feel that paper was very tough, or you feel that I do not know the pattern of the paper, I cannot decode it. You can easily, you know that okay, it is based on the conceptual as well as cramming part, so it is not only based on the miscellaneous. 15 से 20 questions and just 15% of the paper would be based on miscellaneous part. Not talking about paper 1, just talking about paper 2 only. Paper 1 में तो 40% paper will be based on the miscellaneous part. ठीक है, paper 1 में 40% paper will be based on miscellaneous part, and that is why the maximum marks that you could score in this paper 1 is 30 questions out of 50 questions. ठीक है, कभी मतलब बहुत ही रेयर होता है कि किसी का 30 प्लस जा रहा है आउट ऑफ 50. यूजुअली एवरीबडी स्कोर्स अराउंड 25 to 30, एवरीबडी गेट्स अराउंड 25 to 30 क्वेश्चंस करेक्ट आउट ऑफ 50. कॉमर्स वाले, उनके पास टाइम है दैट दे कैन कवर रैंडम थिंग्स, बट वी डू नॉट हैव टाइम, वी ऑलरेडी हैव अ ह्यूज सिलेबस टू कवर फॉर पेपर 2. ठीक, इंस्टेड फोकस ऑन कॉन्सेप्चुअल एंड क्रैमिंग क्वेश्चंस टू मैक्सिमाइज मार्क्स. ठीक, सो एज आई टोल्ड यू दैट यू नीड टू फोकस ऑन कॉन्सेप्चुअल एंड क्रैमिंग क्वेश्चंस. Acha, now the second mistake that you make is watching random YouTube videos with catchy titles. If you have seen, let's say, let's talk about paper 1. Paper 1 mein there are multiple videos which are there for paper 1. Multiple these coaching institutes are there, and they show you multiple topics. They give you like even if it is not important, they'll tell you that this will be asked in the exam. This is very important, very important. You don't have to worry about the things that they have been teaching you and you have not covered. Whatever is important you have already covered from the book. If you're referring KVS Madan, that is fine, but you are also required to solve the PYQs. Without PYQs you cannot this covered paper 1. Without solving PYQs, the preparation of paper 1 is incomplete. So that is why I'm saying that don't fall for these sketchy titles. Just stick to your preparation, that whatever schedule you have created, whatever schedule you have made, just follow that. Okay, don't waste your time on YouTube. And secondly, whatever they are showing you, you cannot be sure that if that will be asked in the exam or not. For example, let me just give you some example of policies, environment policies, ठीक है, or policies for higher education. अब higher education में there are multiple policies, ठीक है. Let's say you have covered around 40 to 50 policies. Now they are showing you more and more policies. You cannot cover each and every policy, so just try skipping that part. ठीक. Okay, also those who are preparing for judiciary exams and those who have done well in the LLB or LLM and they are thinking that they can easily crack this exam, so you should know that the pattern of this exam is bit different. Okay, the pattern is bit different. Whatever you are covering for judiciary preparation or whatever you have covered in your LLB, LLM, it is a bit different from it. So you only LLB knowledge is not sufficient. You need to particularly focus on the syllabus that is given for the NET exam. So just take the printout of the syllabus and cover the syllabus according to the what according to the topics given in that syllabus for this exam. So just stick to the syllabus. Don't think that this was important in the exam, in the LLB exam, or this was important in the judiciary exam, so I'll cover that part. No, whatever is important in the judiciary exam, it might not be important for this UGC NET exam. तो UGC NET exam का pattern is very different from the judiciary exam. Please keep this thing in your mind कि अगर even if you're doing very well in judiciary, even if you have cleared mains in judiciary, you might not be able to clear the UGC NET exam because the pattern is different. Every exam has its own pattern, so the NET exam pattern is different. Okay, not revising not revising cramming portions. I have already told you. So how you need to revise the cramming portions? Let's say you have watched a lecture. You have watched a lecture of 1.5 hours. 1.5 घंटे का lecture देखा. You have created your notes. Now in the first revision, what you are going to do? In the first revision, you will see that whatever is written or whatever you have seen, whatever you have understood, is it clear to you or not? Okay, that first revision is just to check your concepts. Second revision, you need to do the cramming thing. You need to learn the chronology. You need to see the not so important things, that you need to learn those things which are not very important but still can be asked in the exam. So do you see this? So not revising cramming portions, again one of the important things that you need to see, that you should revise all the cramming portions over and again. Actually, you can do one more thing. So there are few things like chronology, ठीक है, or maybe the section numbers, the chronology of the sections, chronology of the chapters. You can keep them handy. You can keep revising them after 15 days, 20 days, because now you have ample time. You have 3 months, so you can keep revising after a gap of maybe 15 days, maybe at a gap of 7 days, or at a gap of 20 days also. So whatever suits you. Correct. So try revising them after short intervals or frequent intervals. Okay, skipping complete unit. Again, this is the mistake that most of the judiciary aspirants do. So they believe that since all the units have equal weightage, so you can skip this unit and still you can get through this exam. But it is not possible. So what you need to know, that each and every unit, not only unit, each and every topic is important. Even if the topic is like the topic is, you feel that the topic is not important, still they can ask you questions from that topic. So you need to cover each and every topic, and there are some topics which have more weightage. For example, this constitution chronology, so they'll appear frequently, they'll ask you these questions frequently, so there is no doubt about it that they will not ask you questions from this. So this is something which you need to cover properly: constitution chronology, chapter chronology, section chronology. So these are some constant things that they have been asking from last 2-3 years. So ये तो करना ही करना, but apart from this, you just make sure that you are not skipping any unit, you are not skipping any topic. Everything is important. Then cover all units to avoid surprises in the exams, as I have already told you. Then because last time, this time itself you were saying that CPL, IPR was more, and that IPR and CPL, they asked a lot of questions from public international or CPL, IPR. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. They have asked, it is just that in 2022 they were not asking questions from these 3 units, CPL, PIL, IPR, but now they have been asking questions. So you need to cover all units properly. Okay, skipping data interpretation in maths. I just need to tell you one thing. Data interpretation is something which you cannot skip for the paper, which you cannot skip for the UGC NET paper. DIMA, I always tell you one thing, that you need to clear your 3 topics. Which 3 topics? Average, ratio proportion, and percentage. Okay, मतलब if you are clear with these 3 topics, na, average हो गया, and then you have this ratio and proportion, and then you have this percentage. So if these 3 topics are clear to you, okay, then you can easily solve data interpretation. So there is a trick to solve this DI. Now first just cover these 3 topics properly by watching videos of 6 standard, 7 standard. मतलब at least concept should be clear to you. So if you have enrolled in the course, I have put the videos on average, ratio, proportion, and percentage. Basic videos I have uploaded. So by watching those videos, next thing that you need to do is you need to solve it from the KVS Madan book. Okay, just try solving it from the KVS Madan book. Ab KVS Madan book mein na, you will see that the level of questions that are given are not very tough. They are easy. Okay, easy questions are given. Now the second thing, first thing you need to watch these concepts, basic concepts. Second thing that you need to do is solving the questions from KVS Madan. Now after this, the third thing that you need to do, the final thing that you need to do is just pick up the PYQ DI, data interpretation PYQ questions from the year 2021 or maybe from the year 2022 and try solving it. 2022 से 2025, ठीक है, 2025, June 2025, December 2025. So for 2-3 years, just solve the questions. You will see that the questions that the questions which are asked in the exam are difficult. The questions that are asked in the exam are difficult, and the questions which are asked given in the KVS Madan are easy. And that is why I always recommend that do not solve questions from the KVS Madan, because in the exam you'll get a surprise that okay, the question level is very tough, or you will get anxious or disappointed कि हाँ मैंने तो ये सब पढ़ा था but कुछ भी नहीं आया. Because KVS Madan this no doubt everything is covered in this book, but the level of questions which are given are easy. They are mainly based on this 2016-17 pattern. It is not based on the current pattern. So for the current pattern, you need to solve the PYQs. Take PYQs are very important, and that is why I'm saying, but first cover the basic concepts, average ratio, percentage, and then KVS Madan, and then move on to the this PYQ questions. Take basic preparation in these areas can boost marks. As I told you, do not cram formula. One of the important things. Acha, since you know that this if you see this syllabus में ऐसा तो नहीं लिखा ना mathematical maths. It is written mathematical reasoning. What is the meaning of this reasoning? Reasoning means that you need to apply your logic. Reasoning means you need to apply your logic. अब let's say if it is about discounting, ठीक है, successive discounts. अब discounting में ठीक है successive discount that 30% discount is given and then 20% extra discount is given. अब you cannot just cram the formula that okay I'm just going to cram the formula for the successive discounts and I can just solve the question. If you're very good at maths, if you are preparing for this banking exams, PO exams, as special officer exams, then you may cram these formulas because you have already into this cramming thing of formulas. But if you have not crammed these formulas earlier, you cannot just cram the formulas for this particular exam. For this particular exams, just cover as much as you can. जितना क्रैम करोगे, फॉर्मूला क्रैम कर लिया और एग्जाम में जाके फॉर्मूला यूज कर दिया, यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू सॉल्व द क्वेश्चन. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ क्रैमिंग, ट्राई यूजिंग द लॉजिक, ट्राई यूजिंग द रीजनिंग. ठीक है, रीजनिंग मतलब कि पहले 30% देगा, इवन इफ इट इज टेकिंग टाइम, ट्राई यूजिंग द रीजनिंग. ठीक है, 30% के बाद फिर 20% ऑफ करना. सो दैट इज हाउ यू हैव टू सॉल्व द क्वेश्चंस. Even if you're getting 2 to 3 questions correct out of 5 questions, so that is also fine. मतलब 2 से 3 questions भी ठीक है मैथ्स में, 5 में से that is also a good score. मतलब 5 में से 5 लेके आने की कोशिश मत करो, क्योंकि मैथ्स का पेपर नहीं है, this is the UGC NET paper. So you just like work smartly. 2 to 3 questions, even if 2 to 3 questions are correct out of 5, they are fine. Take not solving enough MCQs, PYQs and full length mocks. I always ask you to solve this MCQs, PYQs, full length mocks. Why they are important? Because it can improve your accuracy and speed. Accuracy and speed as in, let's say you have covered everything. Now when you are solving MCQs, you are getting confused. Why are you getting confused? Because of lack of practice of MCQs. So that is why whenever you cover any topic, just solve MCQs. Take just solve MCQs, then PYQs, previous year questions are very important. Full length mock test. Why full length mock test is important? Because full length if you solve this full length mock test, it will give you a idea that how you need to manage your time in the exam also. So full length mocks are important. So again, this poor time management. Acha, prioritize questions wisely. You know that which one is more scoring? This maths questions are more scoring, or this comprehension is more scoring? Of course comprehension is more scoring. So if you know that you have less time, so which one will you choose? You will choose the comprehension, because you will get the direct answers from the comprehension, and there are more chances that you will get the questions correct from the comprehension. So that is why remember that first you should cover those areas. You should solve those areas which are where the chances of getting the questions correct are more, where you can get the more correct answers. So first try focusing on those areas rather than focusing on the areas where you are not sure or where you are just doing the guesswork. Okay? And also in the miscellaneous questions that I have told you, 15 questions, 15 to 20 questions, if you are spending a lot of time on the miscellaneous questions, for example, for one question, if you are just reading this question and you are reading this for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and you are changing the answer, like first you have marked A answer and then you have marked B answer, C answer, and then you are getting confused, again marking A, it is not going to help you in any way, because ultimately it is just based on the luck. Miscellaneous is something that you do not know. अगर पता होता तो पहली बार में mark कर देते, नहीं पता, so don't waste time on it. ठीक है, just move on, just quickly mark the answer. If you do not know it, quickly mark the answer. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा you can mark it as flag. Flag is in that later on you can review it, that you can mark it as review question, that you can later on review it. But it is not that you are going to spend 2 to 3 minutes on it. You are going to waste your time on that guesswork पे time waste नहीं करना. Just be very quick in marking answers in the miscellaneous questions. Then full length mocks improve time management and exam temperament. As I told you, that you will get an idea if you'll solve the full length mock test, so you'll get an idea that how that which portion you need to attempt first in this exam. That are you going to attempt paper 2 first or paper 1 first? Are you going to attempt the theory part first, or are you going to attempt the this solving part first? So that time management and exam temperament, as in that you should be able to sit for 3 hours. ऐसा नहीं कि पेपर ही नहीं हो रहा, नींद आ रही है, मतलब टाइम मैनेज नहीं हो रहा, एंशियस हो रहे हो, तो वो सब चीज़ें दैट यू नीड टू overcome those things with the help of mock tests. ठीक, then I hope this is helpful for you. So just try avoiding these mistakes. Whatever mistakes you have made in the last exam, try overcoming those mistakes in the June exam. Okay, anyone having any questions? I hope this was helpful to you. Highest score क्या है इस बार? Shivam, the highest score that I have got to know, the student who has scored highest in my batch, it is 222. Okay. Anyone having any doubts? Agam, Aditi, Abhyuday, Akash, Amir, Amu, anyone having any doubts? Please feel free to ask. I hope this was helpful to you. Vanshika, Vani, Vartika, Vinay, Vishal. Those who couldn't attend it, I'll just upload this lecture also. Alright, so that is it. Thank you, everyone. Could you please share PYQs in the group? Yes, Shambhunath, I have already shared it. PYQs of all the of last 3-4 years, are you saying? I'll share it. I have already shared in the Telegram group. I'll share it in the WhatsApp group also. Live classes in the no, Shivam, there will be no live classes. Only the recorded sessions will be provided. The live sessions will be conducted only on Sundays. On Sundays, these doubt sessions will be conducted, but everything would be in the recorded this sessions only. Score is stuck for paper 1 and from 2 present score is 184. Okay, Ayush. So law exam score is stuck for 118 from 2 attempts. Ayush, now whatever I have told you, just do one thing. I'll share this PDF with you. This particular PDF, I'll be sharing it in the group. Now, those who are facing the same problem, if their score is stuck, just try comparing this. Just see that how many questions are correct in each portion. That section wise, you have to see that how many questions are correct. So if you're getting this out of 37 questions, if you have got just 20 questions correct in cramming part, which means you need to work on the cramming part. If out of 40 in the conceptual, you are getting 34, 35 correct, so which means you are already good at concepts. You just need to focus on the cramming. So just that is how you can see your weak areas. That is why I have divided this paper into 3 categories section wise. Miscellaneous में कोई टेंशन नहीं लेना. Miscellaneous में अगर 20 में से 15 में से 0 भी आ रहा है, that is also fine, because miscellaneous is something which is not in our hands, something which where we cannot work upon. So don't worry about miscellaneous, but just see that cramming or conceptual में आपके कितना सही है. And if the score is very less, out of 37, just 15 are correct, which means you need to completely work on the cramming part. Right? What is the correct sequencing? Solving the questions, just 1 minute, sorry. Sequencing of solving the questions during exam. Abhyuday, so now this depends on your knowledge. Now first let's start, this is the advice that I give, common advice. Firstly, you will have to attempt the paper 2, because paper 2 they ask you 100 questions, and of course this is something where we feel confident, because paper 2 तो बहुत सालों से करते आ रहे हैं. ठीक है, तो paper 2 में law we have been doing for this we have done this in LLB, LLM, etc. तो 100 में से you can in paper 2, first what will you do? You will just attempt paper 2 in how many minutes? You try attempting this in 80 minutes, maximum 80 minutes. मतलब 1 घंटे में try attempting this in 60 to 80 minutes. ठीक है. After this you will move on to paper 1. paper 1 में whatever time is left, now you can see this, that paper is of 3 hours, and I have just I'm saying that you just need to spend 60 minutes, 60 to 80 minutes to paper 2. So once you have done paper 2, now whatever time is left, you are going to spend it on paper 1. अब paper 1 में you will first attempt the theoretical questions, theory पहले attempt करोगे, theory जैसे teaching aptitude हो गया, research हो गया, ठीक है, you will first attempt these areas, teaching, research, communication, ठीक है, ICT, and then after this you will attempt this comprehension is scoring, ठीक है, then after that you will attempt this DI, ठीक है, DI is again scoring. जितना भी मैथ्स है ना, मैथ्स में सिंपल इंटरेस्ट, कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट और दिस स्पीड वाले क्वेश्चंस, अपस्ट्रीम डाउनस्ट्रीम, आलतू फालतू क्वेश्चंस, वो मैथ्स वाला, वो सब पार्ट लास्ट में अटेम्प्ट करना है. फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट द थ्योरी पार्ट क्योंकि जल्दी खत्म होगा. थ्योरी पार्ट अटेम्प्ट करके देन यू विल मूव ऑन टू द कॉम्प्रिहेंशन, बिकॉज कॉम्प्रिहेंशन इज मोर स्कोरिंग देन द DI. तो कॉम्प्रिहेंशन करके देन DI, एंड आफ्टर दैट मैथ्स पार्ट. दिस इज द सीक्वेंस यू नीड टू फॉलो. वॉचिंग योर वीडियोज ऑफ पेपर 1 would just suffice. Ankita, if you watch the videos for paper 1, that would be sufficient. But along with this, you need to solve the PYQs, previous year questions. Even if you are referring any other source, maybe just KVS Madan book, or maybe just anything, whatever you have been referring. Along with this, PYQs are very, very important. मतलब without PYQs, your preparation for paper 1 is incomplete. 50% आपको समझ में आएगा वीडियोस से या बुक से, और 50% आपकी क्लैरिटी होगी PYQ सॉल्व करने से. सो PYQ इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर पेपर 1. पेपर 2 के लिए इतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, बट फॉर पेपर 1 PYQs आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Shall I leave preparation for other exams for these coming months to clear NET? Bushra, there is no requirement to leave other exams, leave the preparation of other exams. Because even if you give 4 to 5 hours for this particular exam, if you're working and you are preparing for other exams, then it will be tough for you to manage everything. But if you are preparing only for the exams, or the competitive exams, NET as well as judiciary exams, then you can manage both of them simultaneously. बस ये है कि NET के लिए you have to give 4 to 5 hours dedicatedly every day for the next 3 months. अब 6 months भी नहीं है, you just have March, April and May. जून में तो exam ही है, right? For this exam and just scored 146. My number is quite disappointing. I was expecting more from myself. Abhyuday, the thing is, now you have got to know the exam pattern, or I have told you that how you have to cover. If you start your preparation again, I'm sure you'll be able to score better. Is there a possible new? No, Agam. The syllabus would remain same. By now they would have updated us, but there is no update, or there is no notification yet, so the syllabus would remain same. Okay, and have I missed any question, ma'am? Please share the section wise December. Yes, Kratik, I'll share this PDF. Right. Will we get the notes updated, or it will same as I attended previous only recorded classes? Shivam, there are few notes which are updated, and there are few notes like basic notes. They are going to remain same, but the like EPA, in the EPA the amendments have been made. EPA Act में, or this in IT Act the amendments have been made. So all those things have changed. This Hague Convention, Geneva Convention. So these things have been changed, but rest of the things will remain same. And in case the syllabus gets changed, I'll provide you the recordings of the updated syllabus. In this 3 months, how much are or how many videos we see in a day? Manisha, now there are two things. If you are a working professional, okay, let's say you're working during the daytime, and you just have the evening hours to study, or late evening hours, you're studying the late evening hours. In that case, I'll just ask you to watch one video per day. And if you are a full-time aspirant that you can give the complete day for the UGC NET preparation, then I'll ask you to watch 2 videos. So each video is of 1.5 hours. Okay? Each video is of 1.5 hours. So let's say you are a full-time aspirant. Take a full-time aspirant, 1.5 hours का video देखा. While watching the video, you have to make your notes also, short notes. ठीक है, for example, this common example I told you, law plus I is equal to Lasky. ठीक है, तो अब this is how you have to make your notes. You don't have to write each and everything. Just write the short notes so that you can revise them quickly. Take after this, after making the notes, what you will do the 2 revisions. I have told you, one revision is for concept and the other revision is for the this cramming thing. Take cramming, that means just to cover the not so important things. Then in the evening again you will cover the same thing. 1.5 hours में notes revise करने हैं, notes में again 2 चीज़ें याद करनी है. अच्छा, there is one thing that most of you do wrong. Let's say you are covering jurisprudence, ठीक है? Jurisprudence में after covering jurisprudence, if you are covering public international law, so that time you don't have to worry about the jurisprudence कि मैंने jurisprudence में जो भी पढ़ा था, I've forgotten everything in jurisprudence. It is very natural because the syllabus is vast. So even if you have forgotten jurisprudence, whatever you have covered in the previous week, so don't worry about it in the subsequent week. In the subsequent week, if you're covering public international law, just focus on PIL. Don't worry about the previous week. Don't worry about what you have covered in the previous week. Okay? So whatever you have been doing in that particular week, just keep revising it. So let's say you have covered lecture 1 and 2 today, and tomorrow you are covering 3 and 4. So while covering 3 and 4, you are also required to revise 1 and 2, because this is the same unit. Same unit में you need to revise each and everything again and again in that particular week. But when you have moved to the next unit, next subject, तो नेक्स्ट सब्जेक्ट नेक्स्ट यूनिट में पिछले यूनिट की टेंशन नहीं लेनी है, जस्ट फॉरगेट इट. ठीक है? जब रिवीजन करोगे, कंप्लीट रिवीजन करोगे, तो उस टाइम पे आपको क्लैरिटी आ जाएगी. Is it free or we have to purchase it? It is a paid course, Abhyuday. We can fetch your share PDF from yes, Amo, I'll share this PDF. Then one more thing, please tell the strategy to cover the units. As do we need to go series wise or like select any particular units first? You need to select difficult unit first. Now this will vary from person to person. Let's say if you feel that public international law is tough for you, or if you feel that IPR is tough for you, so you will first cover those units which are tough for you. So just create the category list. First list is the tough units. Try covering the hard units, tough units, and then you will cover the moderate units. Moderates may include this maybe this constitution. Constitution is something which is moderate that you need to revise. You need to cram things like amendments, years, etc. So I am keeping it in moderate. And in the this easy units, for example, family law, IPC, TOTS, you can cover this in easy ones. So tough may, for example, this environment and human rights is there, or this IPR is there, public international law is there. तो पहले टफ वाला करना. टफ विल टेक अराउंड 6 to 7 days to complete. ठीक है? आफ्टर कवरिंग टफ यूनिट्स, मूव ऑन टू द मॉडरेट विल टेक 4 to 5, and easy units will take 2 to 3 days. So if you are a full-time aspirant, in that case it will take this much time. Tough will take 6 to 7 days, moderate will take 4 to 5 days, and easy will take 2 to 3 days. Please tell the strategy to cover the units. As do we need to go okay series? I have already answered this. Shivam, is this clear to you? 6-7 days per subject. Yes, Shambhunath, 100%. If you will hurry, or if you will just do everything very quickly, then you will not be able to retain things. So you have to maintain that pace. कि बहुत fast भी नहीं करना और बहुत slow भी नहीं करना. So just try keeping that pace. Okay, tough, moderate, and easy units, and in this particular time period you can cover this. Okay. Anything else? All right, 3 months, how much in these 3 months, how many videos we see in a day? Right, Manisha, I have answered this. All right, so this is it. Thank you everyone. Thank you. I hope this was helpful to you. All the best for your preparation. I'm sure you will score good in the next one. Don't get disappointed, don't get disheartened. Just a preparation of 3 months would be sufficient to clear this exam. Okay, it is not very tough. It is not a civil services exam. It is just a UGC NET exam, and every time around 600 to 700 students get selected for this. They qualify UGC NET exam. I'm sure you will also qualify this exam, or if you're targeting JRF, you can easily crack this JRF exam also in the next attempt. Just be consistent with your preparation, right? All right. Thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.